What if I told you that the fastest way to eliminate approach anxiety is not to be more confident? In fact, what if the secret is to do the exact opposite of what every dating coach has ever told you? See, about 5 years ago, I discovered a single opening line that completely eliminated my anxiety once and for all. And it's so counterintuitive that most guys think it's crazy when I first tell them what it really is. But in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to break down exactly how it works, why it works, and give you the step by step playbook so you can start using it today. But before I do that, allow me to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. Hey, my name is Daniel Neef, and I've taught over 650 smart, successful men how to meet and attract traditional feminine women they would actually want to marry. And before that, I was just a regular guy who had crippling approach anxiety. But using what I'm about to share with you in this video, I was able to attract the woman of my dreams, and now I'm happily married. Now, before I give you the exact technique, I need to tell you why everything you've been taught about confidence is actually making your anxiety far worse. Because if you don't understand this, then the technique isn't going to make sense. But once you get it, everything will click. So here's what most dating advice tells you to do. It tells you to man up and just be confident, bro. Walk up to her like you're the man, or fake it until you make it. And look, I get it. Confidence is definitely attractive to women. But here's the problem. How can you be confident if you're not already confident? It's like the chicken and the egg kind of situation. See, here's the reality. If you don't actually feel confident, then trying to fake it is only going to make everything worse. Because now you're not just nervous about going and saying hello, but you're also nervous about the fact that you're trying to suppress this nervousness and trying to pretend to be someone that you're not. So what do? You walk up with your chest out, trying to play it cool, but inside you're screaming with nervousness. And women can sense this incongruence immediately. She can tell that you're putting on an act, and that is what's going to make her feel uncomfortable. Because if you're not comfortable with yourself, how is she supposed to feel comfortable around you? That's why she's going to tell you that she has a boyfriend, or she's going to politely say she has to go, or she's in a hurry. And the more that this happens to you, the more your brain is going to start to file these experiences under, okay, approaching women equals bad outcome. Which means the next time that you see a beautiful girl you want to talk to, your anxiety is going to be even worse. Because your brain remembers what happened last time. And now you're stuck in what I call the confidence trap. Because you need confidence to approach, but you can't build confidence without approaching in the first place. But you're too nervous to approach, so you never actually build the confidence you need to approach. Do you see the problem? This is why the advice of just be confident or fake it till you make it is terrible advice, because it doesn't solve the root problem of why you have anxiety in the first place. So at this point, you're probably wondering, what's the solution then? The solution is to use what I call the vulnerability hack. And it's based on a simple psychological principle that basically says when you acknowledge what you're feeling out loud, it instantly eliminates all the tension. Here's how it works. Instead of trying to hide the fact that you're anxious, you just lead with that. You walk up and you start a conversation. The opener doesn't really matter at all. What matters is what you say after. You're going to say, hey, please forgive me if I seem a little nervous. It's just that I'm trying to put myself out there and break out of my comfort zone. 9 times out of 10, women will respond positively to this because they understand what it's like to be awkward. And everyone knows that, sometimes you're not going to be as polished as you should be. The problem comes when you try and fake it and you act like this arrogant guy when you're actually not that person. But here's the other reasons why this works. First, it releases the pressure right away. You're no longer trying to hide how you feel. You actually went out and named it. And the moment you name it, the anxiety loses the power it has over you. Second, it creates authenticity. You see, women are constantly being approached by guys who are trying to put up a front, trying to act like this super macho alpha guy who they're not actually, or the guy who's trying so hard to be a comedian or, acting like they don't actually care at all when they really do. But when you say, hey, forgive me if I seem a little awkward or nervous, it's actually refreshing because it shows her that you're human. You see, most women will actually respect this way more than if you try to act confident when you're not really. But most important of all, it flips the script in your brain because you see, anxiety exists because your brain is worried about being judged. It's afraid she's going to see that you're nervous and then reject you because of it. But when you say it out loud first, it's like, well, you already confessed it, so there's nothing left to hide. It's kind of like in the movie 8 Mile with Eminem, where he's in the final rap battle and he just says everything the guy's going to say against him. So now he can't use it because he already put out all the bad things about himself at the very beginning. And the same thing's happening when you do this in your dating life. Your brain realizes, like, oh, wait, I already told her that I'm nervous and she didn't run away. In fact, she's actually smiling. Like, this is totally fine. I'm not dead. Everything's fine. And boom, just like that, your anxiety starts to slowly and slowly evaporate. Look, I've seen this work with hundreds of guys who could barely get a word out. And now they were having relaxed conversations, all because they stopped fighting this nervousness that they had in their head and just owned it. But let me be clear, this is just the first step in the approach. You still have to know what to say next and how to actually spark attraction. Otherwise, you'll still end up in the friend zone. And that's why I created a program called Beyond Attraction, which teaches you how to create real, genuine chemistry. You can find the link in the description below. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what to do after you say this. So the first step, as I said earlier, is to just start a conversation. Now, I personally like using observational openers because when you just make a simple comment about something happening around you or you compliment her style, you're not there to necessarily hit on her. The premise of the conversation is just based on something casual, which makes it low pressure and not some weird agenda like you're there to try and pick her up. Now, here's a quick example. Let's say that you're in a coffee shop and you're standing in line next to a girl. You could say, hey, you look like you've been here 100 times. What's the best thing to get? Or, hey, I just wanted to say I really love your style. Like, keep it up. And then you just transition by introducing who you are, or even better, you can say, I must say, it's actually a relief that you're very friendly. So many people these days are rude. This is perfect because you're labeling her with a specific trait that you want her to have, which is being friendly. Now, psychologically, she's going to want to keep up that identity that you just gave her. Not always, but more often than not, this will work. And that's when you're going to deliver the vulnerability statement. You say, forgive me if I seem a little nervous, but I just want to stretch my comfort zone and I'm trying to challenge myself to go out there and talk to more people. Again, this instantly removes all the pressure because women know that you're nervous. They can feel it. And so if your words are not matching the energy you're putting out there, if you're acting all confident when you're really not, she's going to feel this incongruence and wonder what's really going on. Does he want something from me? Is he trying to steal my purse? Is he trying to sell me something? These are the questions that's going to roll through her head because there's a mismatch between what you're saying and what's actually being perceived in your mannerisms. So when you use the vulnerability hack, you eliminate this problem while also reducing your anxiety tenfold. Now, here's the most important part. You want to make sure that you then transition to interesting topics. Because if you keep talking about the coffee shop or the situation around you, it's going to get boring really fast. I want you to remember the acronym HAT or HAT. This stands for hobbies, aspirations, and travel. I like bringing up these topics because they get to the heart of what people actually care about. Most people don't like what they do for work, and yet everyone loves to talk for hours about, hey, what do you do for work and why do you do that and etc. That's why I like to ask questions I know that she's going to be excited about. Because the reality is, if she's actually excited about the topics, then she's going to enjoy talking to me. And if she enjoys talking to me, guess what? She's going to be less likely to want to leave the conversation. You see how it works? So here's a few examples of what these questions are like. You can say, what do you like to do when you're not at work? Would you say you're more of a sleep in and watch Netflix kind of girl, or go on a random hike on a Sunday morning type of girl? Now, aspirations can be something like, what's something you're working on right now that's got you excited? What's something you love doing that most people don't know about you? Do you have anything that you're secretly passionate about? And travel can be like, have you traveled anywhere cool recently? Do you have any bucket list travel destinations? These questions are open ended, positive, and get her talking about things that she genuinely enjoys. But here's the key, man. This cannot feel like you're interrogating her. You have to show genuine curiosity and reward her for investing into the conversation. Don't just drill her with question after question. Share your own thoughts and your own answers, your own opinions about it. Then ask her why she answered the way she did. Why do you want to travel there? What made you pick this hobby over another hobby? Questions like this dig beneath the surface and pull out someone's true interest and desires. And that is what allows you to connect with them, because you can talk about what you're interested in, desire, and find true commonalities. Now, let me tell you something important about what we just covered. This is not just a trick or some technique, it's an identity level shift. When you stop trying to be the alpha male who has it all figured out and you start being the guy who's comfortable just being human, your dating life and your dating results will completely change. Because now you're not performing for women. You're not trying to impress them. You're just being yourself. And ironically, that is what makes you attractive, because women don't want this perfect, boring robot. They want a real person, someone who's confident enough to be vulnerable with them. And once you get this, approaching will finally be easy, because you're not worried about always trying to get it right. You're just showing up as yourself and seeing if there's a connection. Now, some women are going to vibe with that, some won't. And that's okay, because you're no longer chasing validation. You're looking for whether you have long-term compatibility. And that shift from needing her approval to simply being curious about who she is will change everything for you, because you're no longer coming from this place of lack. You're coming from a place of abundance. And women can feel that difference right away. And if you want the full roadmap, the complete system for going from anxious and overthinking to naturally confident and able to turn conversations into dates and relationships, then get my program Beyond Attraction. The link is in the description. It breaks down everything on how to create chemistry, how to flirt, how to escalate, how to avoid the friend zone, all of it. So click the link, check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.